the current reporting is that the likely punishment for him, at least according to Michael Grangi, a Toronto Raptors reporter, so maybe take it with a grain of salt, may include something like a punishment for the Clippers that the NBA gets to enforce some version of its rule, which would likely be some kind of draft pick compensation, or rather draft pick penalty for them. Likely not the death penalty, quote unquote, to where Kawhi Leonard's contract would be voided, to where they would lose like 4 first-round draft picks, where Steve Ballmer would be fired and banned from the NBA. No, that's not going to happen. That's the penultimate death penalty that's been talked about and highly speculated, but no one thinks that's truly going to happen. This report even saying that Steve Ballmer could, quote unquote, save face even with the apparent punishment, likely preventing him from looking bad in the situation, not blaming him for anything, whatever that might be and whyever that might be. Maybe he's so buddy-buddy with the NBA that they can't really punish him, being one of, if not the richest owner, and whatever it might be, that's what this report claims. Even saying that Kawhi Leonard could and would then play for Toronto. Again, whether there would be a draft pick penalty or not, he would still end up in Toronto. So that's one report, but not the only report, and especially if they factor in the newest reporting from Pablo Torre, who now claims that there is not only one deal, not only one behind the curtain scandal, but now 2. Not only the initial aspiration scandal that Kawhi Leonard had money funneled to him via aspiration to the Clippers, then to Kawhi Leonard, but now another uncovered deal. A new deal funded between the Clippers via Daktronics, a scoreboard producer and other media products, then directly to Kawhi Leonard again. According to Pablo Torre, yet another multi-million-dollar deal that was able to funnel money directly to Kawhi Leonard, therefore circumventing the salary cap, allowing the Clippers to pay him more than they could, given that they already paid him a max contract and he wanted more money after that. They circumvented the salary cap not only once, but twice, according to Pablo Torre. And here's a quick clip from what he had to say, and explaining how they maybe did or did not do this.
Apparently, and as one former Daktronics employee told us in a text message,
I was told since it's B2B and not a consumer product, it didn't make sense to advertise that way.
They're the worldwide leader, arguably, in Jumbotron manufacturing. But this is where I do need you to know something else. And this is something that I initially heard on the phone from the first high-level source I've been talking to for the last 11 months.
This was talked about just openly within the organization and from people working on the project that Kawhi was a spokesperson for Daktronics. And it was just the biggest thing. It was just openly joked about within people working on the project that knew about this, as it was 1,000% a way to circumvent the salary cap.
And over months of vetting the second high-level Clippers source, a former official, they also independently confirmed something else, which is that this Kawhi deal was not only talked about by fellow higher-ups at the Clippers and Daktronics as a way to circumvent the NBA salary cap.
Quote, I know Kawhi had a sponsorship with Daktronics, unquote.
This second source was also told that Kawhi's Daktronics sponsorship was a multi-million-dollar deal, as my first source separately explained on tape.
People at Daktronics, people within the Clippers organization themselves had told me about this multi-million-dollar deal with Kawhi and Daktronics. They're not a company that you would see a celebrity endorser for, and then it wasn't coming out of their end, that the Clippers were technically kind of funding it, and that it was funneling money from the Clippers through Daktronics back to Kawhi.
And alright, a lot to go through with that one, but something important to note is that it's not illegal, it's not against the rules for Kawhi Leonard to have a sponsorship deal, neither with Daktronics or even Aspiration for that fact. But what did break the rule, what the reporting claims that broke the rule, is how they did it. Not that he directly had a deal with Daktronics or with Aspiration. Yes, that was part of it, but it's all about how they funneled the money. Again, reportedly, quote unquote. The way they did it, and the way reports claim they did it, is by the Clippers paying Aspiration, and then again Daktronics, them receiving that money, and then giving that money that was from the Clippers, from Steve Ballmer, from ownership, directly to Kawhi Leonard. Therefore, it's not really Aspiration or, again, Daktronics paying him, but paying him with the Clippers' money to then circumvent the salary cap. That's what they're claiming here. Not again that it's unfair or against the rules for him to have a sponsorship with them. That's completely fine. They can pay him. That's not against the rule. That's not against what a player can or cannot do. That's completely fine. But it's all about the way that they apparently did it. And if that would turn out to be true, not only that he did it once, but then twice, both with aspiration and then again with Daktronics, that could definitely up the penalty. However, will they make the ruling before that? Will they even factor that in? That's up for debate. And as the way things stand right now, I would say it's very unlikely that the NBA factors in the new reporting, the new scandal quote unquote. This one appears to be a whole lot weaker. The argument for it, the reporting behind it, not saying that it's either true or not true. I'm not here to tell you that either one way or the other, but I don't think it will be factored in. For their punishment, which, yes, it does appear that they will give the Clippers a punishment, that Kawhi Leonard may be punished in some way too. I don't think it will be the death penalty again. I don't think the trade will be voided. I don't think the contract will be voided. And even if it would, that doesn't mean that he wouldn't go to Toronto. Hell, even if that would happen, they void the contract, they void the trade that happened between them, they give Toronto back their trade assets, give them back Brandon Ingram, Grady Dick, and the draft picks they gave up. That's fine. Then Kawhi Leonard would simply walk to their team. Unfortunately for him, he would have to take a minimum contract at that point, or some version of their mid-level exception, if they didn't use it yet. Yes, it would be a discount, but I think he's made it pretty clear that he does want to go to Toronto. He wouldn't remain in LA, he wouldn't swap from the LA Clippers to then the LA Lakers, if you're hoping for that, which you may or may not be. But in my opinion, that's not a likely route. What might be a likely route if that would happen, or some version of it would happen, if it's a worse penalty than what the initial reporting mentioned, again that first report from Michael Grangi, if maybe the contract would be voided, or something a little bit less than that but still quite severe, then that could maybe change the current direction of the LA Clippers. If they wouldn't get draft assets back, if they wouldn't get Brandon Ingram back, therefore that would change their ability to compete, and maybe then change their mindset too. Rather than trying to remain competitive, trying to win this season, they would turn to more of a reset, or maybe an all-out rebuild. Trying to go more for youth, trying to go for more young talent, even maybe not trying to be competitive, and therefore they would offload some veterans on their team. And one guy that I would definitely point to, a great fit for what the Lakers currently need and should want in my opinion, would be a guy like Derrick Jones Jr., a former Luka Doncic teammate, a guy that he went to the NBA Finals with, his small forward, power forward combo for that team, a guy that's a good 3-and-D talent, a good two-way threat. That could be a very good and interesting option if they would in fact be punished, albeit maybe not as severely as many think. But again, if they would be punished enough to change their mindset, change their ability to compete in what they're trying to do this season, I would definitely look into it. Yes, they don't trade very often, but I don't think they would be entirely against it if they're in asset accumulation mode, if they're trying to get draft picks and simply get younger. I would at least offer something like Dalton Connect, a Deuce Hero. Yes, I think you would probably take a Deuce Hero. If not, you're maybe hoping for the entirety of your draft capital being enough, like their 2032 pick swap, all 3 of their second round draft picks, and then salary filler. Great, if that would work, then I would probably do it. But even more so than that, maybe Connect, Thero, and 1 or 2 second round draft picks, likely 2 of them. That would probably be what they would ask for. And hey, if they would do it, I would have a hard time saying no. I mean, Derrick Jones is kind of what we want to do Thero to eventually become. And if he would, it probably won't be for another 2 or 3 years at best. That athletic freakish athlete kind of two-way wing, but obviously is not there yet. He doesn't have the offense down. He has potential on defense, but currently is a bit out of control. Doesn't really know how to fill that role quite yet. Hasn't played much in the NBA. Not only that, but kind of like Derrick Jones again, does have some injury and durability concern. Maybe instead of taking the risk on him developing, turning into that in like maybe half a decade, they could go for Derrick Jones instead. Given the fact that they're trying to win, they're trying to compete, they're trying to contend for a championship, not waste Luka Doncic's prime, then maybe get a guy that would be a proven fit with him. A guy he played with, a great fit, a guy that could fill the role that they currently need, a big wing that can defend like 1 through 4. Yes, Derrick Jones might not be a true power forward, but he's often played the role. He is big, he is lanky, he is athletic, he is obviously a great athlete. He could kind of fill that role for them. So in my opinion, if the Kawhi Leonard situation would maybe be worse than we think, more than what some people think, and if they would be punished and therefore change their mindset about their team and what they're trying to do this season, then I would definitely look into it. Heck, even apart from him, maybe you could take a look at some other guys in their team, albeit not really a great fit for the Lakers, but more so for a different team. The way they would view this team and the way they would operate might be different depending on that punishment. But I think that'll pretty much do it for this one. And if you enjoyed the video, then I would greatly appreciate it if you dropped a like, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit that notification bell to never miss out when I upload a video. But as always, thank you for watching, and have a great day or night.